Hey everyone. Okay, I got the torque converter off the club cart. I'll show it to you in a second. But after I pulled the tire off, I made some more discoveries about the club cart here. It's for sure got new brakes, new drums, and new leaf springs. I'll pull the drum off in a second. I'll show you what it looks like in there. Okay, under here, got new brake parts. A little bit dirty from it sitting, but those look like brand new brakes to me. This is just locked up right now because the other wheel is on the ground. So I got the cart sitting up on a jack, on a floor jack. I could not get a jack stand under here, so I wouldn't normally do it like this, but I do have the tire sitting right there, so it is safe. This was actually a lot easier to get the torque converter off. I didn't even need the puller. All I did is I took the bolt out and I stuck a longer bolt that wasn't the correct thread size into that hole, and I held onto the torque converter and I tapped it with the hammer and it came loose right away. So really perfect. I couldn't get it loose by hand, but tapping it loose with that long bolt from my puller kit, and the torque converter slipped right off. But in here, like I said, new leaf springs. So when we were loading it up on the truck, I noticed new leaf spring bolts in the back. So I'm thinking, okay, this thing has new parts on it. And so everything's within a couple years, because there were this stuff right here inside the brake caliper, or sorry, inside the brake drum. It doesn't have disc brakes, so it's brake drums. 1 second here. It also had this in there, which is a mud dauber nest, I believe, or a hornet's nest. So this was actually in behind right here in the actual brakes. So this thing has been sitting for a little while, but it had just recently, before it was sitting, had new parts put on it. So let me show you the torque converter. Here it is. Unfortunately, it is not rebuildable. The ones I've been looking at online have a clip right here. You can undo the clip, take this cam off, replace the cam. The buttons are replaceable on here, but it's not a rebuildable on this end of the torque converter. So it's looking like I'm going to need a new torque converter. I'm going to call my parts guy tomorrow still and see if they can get it. I just don't know where the model number would be on this thing. I know where the serial number is, but I don't know where the model numbers are. So, and most likely they need the model number. So I'm most likely going to have to resort to eBay to get it, because they have it and they have it within the year, and hopefully I can make it work. Also, it's like I said before in the previous video, it's from an actual golf cart parts supplier, so I should be pretty good. Also, I'm going to order a new drive belt, so always good to have one on hand. The one that's on here is good, but I'm going to order another one anyways. So anyways, there's where we're at for now. Everything else all in here looks pretty good to me, to my eye. I don't see anything straight out of the ordinary that looks bad. The clutch on the engine seems to be fine. And again, this belt right here is going to get replaced as well. That's the main starter belt. And what I'm going to do is have a new one on there, and I'm going to have an extra one with me. Just in case. You never know. It's always good to have an extra on hand. And my theory is if you have an extra one, it's less likely of a chance of your main one breaking down on you. So I'll have an extra one on hand. But yeah, I've actually also been looking at lift kits for this. You can actually get an 8-inch lift kit. They're kind of expensive, but it's something to look into for the future. Or if I just want to jack up the back end, I could just reverse the leaf springs, put the leaf springs from the bottom onto the top, and you'd gain about 1.5 to 2 inches. So it's something to look into. I just don't know if you lift it, how much is it going to change in the drive line, if anything, because it's a standard length between the engine clutch and the axle. It's just lowering it down, because right now it goes from there up to here. So when the torque converter is on there, I've actually seen different names for these, but from looking at snowmobiles and four-wheelers, they're called torque converters. That's why I have been calling it a torque converter. So I believe that's what it is. And because that's the clutch on the engine, and this is your torque converter. Also, no also, but I guess that's pretty much it. So I definitely need the torque converter, And if anyone has any corrections for me on what this is truly called, please leave it in the comment section below. It will be appreciated. All comments are appreciated, and I do try to respond to as many as I can. When I get time, it might be a little bit after the comments been posted, but I feel if you have the respect to comment on my video, I have the respect to comment back to you, unlike some YouTubers. So I'll talk to them later. Please keep redneck like always, and please keep my comment.